Hello and welcome to grammar class. Today's topic is the future perfect continuous tense. As you know, we identify a verb tense from the structure of the verb. So the structure of future perfect continuous tense is the auxiliary verb shall or will plus have been and the fourth form or the ing form of the main verb. So clearly the future perfect continuous tense consists of three helping verbs: shall or will, have, been, and the present participle or ing form of the main verb. The helping verb shall is used only for the first person pronouns I and we. If the subject is I or we generally use the auxiliary verb shall. On the other hand, the auxiliary verb will is used for all other pronouns and nouns. That is, if the subject is you, he, she, it, they or any noun, we generally use the helping verb will. However, if will is used for the first person pronouns I or we, it expresses certainty, determination, intention or a promise. So these are the special uses of will for I and we. In modern English, however, the use of shall is very uncommon. But remember, for second person and third person pronouns and all nouns, shall has some special uses. For example, if shall is used for you, he, she, it, they or any noun, it shows a command, order or a threat or a promise. You may please watch my previous video on modals part 2 for a detailed explanation in this regard. Well, let's now learn what the future perfect continuous tense of the verb means. The future perfect continuous tense shows the prolonged or a long time continuity of an action up to a definite future time or moment. In other words, the future perfect continuous tense shows that an action denoted in the verb will be in progress over a certain period of time and continue up to a particular point of time in the future. The action may have started in the past or present, or it may start in the future, but it will be in progress for a certain time period up until a definite moment in the future. So we understand that the future perfect continuous tense shows that after starting sometime in the past or present or future, an action will continue for a certain time period and up to a certain point of time in the future. In short, the future perfect continuous indicates for how long and until which time the action will be in progress in the future. Now see some examples of the future perfect continuous tense on your screen. He will have been working for 30 years when he retires next year. I shall have been studying for 10 hours by midnight. In the first sentence, the verb will have been working is in future perfect continuous tense. It shows that I started working long back in the past, and next year when I retire, I will complete 30 years of working. In the second sentence, the verb shall have been studying is in future perfect continuous tense. It shows that by a certain point of time in the future, that is midnight, I shall complete 10 hours of continuous studying. So from these examples we understand that with future perfect continuous tense, two things are clearly mentioned. First, a certain time period for which the action continues, and a definite future time up to which it continues. Now, how to use the future perfect continuous tense in negative and interrogative sentences? In interrogative sentences, the auxiliary verb will or shall comes before the subject, and the other auxiliary verbs have been and the main verb in the fourth ing form come after the subject. For example, will you have been teaching for 10 years by next July? In this sentence, the first auxiliary verb will comes before the subject you and have been teaching after the subject. And in the negative sentence, the word not or never comes after the first auxiliary verb shall or will. For example, I shall not have been sleeping for 8 hours when I wake up tomorrow. Well, up next is a quick comparison between future continuous and future perfect continuous. I shall be studying when my teacher comes. In this sentence, shall be studying is in future continuous tense. It shows that the action of studying will be in progress at a certain point of time in future. That is, at the time when my teacher comes. Now look at the second sentence. I shall have been studying for 4 hours when my teacher comes. In this sentence, the verb shall have been studying is in future perfect continuous tense. It shows a certain duration of continuous action, that is 4 hours of studying by the time my teacher comes. So it's clear that while future continuous shows the continuity of action at a certain point of time in the future, the future perfect continuous tense denotes a prolonged or long time continuity of the action up until a definite time in the future. Another important thing about the future perfect continuous tense is that there are some state or non-action verbs like seem, appear, know, understand, etc., which are not used in the future perfect continuous tense. If necessary, we may use them in future perfect tense. Last but not the least, please remember that future perfect continuous has no passive voice. That's it for today. Please like and subscribe to my channel for more grammar videos. Thank you so much.